60 Minutes Overtime.
Speeding. We're good. Still.
Okay. Well, Joe, if you could please state your name so we have it at the top of your interview.
My name is Joe Ranazizi.
My story on 60 Minutes this week is about a former DEA agent who saw the opioid epidemic growing and tried to stop it and ran into a brick wall in the form of Congress.
16,651 people in 2010 died of opiate overdose, okay? Opiate-associated overdose. This is not a game.
Are you the most high-level whistleblower to come out of the DEA?
As far as this, yes. As far as pharmaceutical opioid abuse and the way we handle it, yeah, I'm pretty much the highest level person that's come out.
Joe Ranazizi is, in your story, called one of the most important whistleblowers ever to be on 60 Minutes. What's your sense of what drives him?
He is a no-nonsense, principled man. He saw this crisis and wanted to stop it. What he zeroed in on was the distribution of the pills. So he started to put pressure on the distributors, and the distributors pushed back.
This is an industry that allowed millions and millions of drugs to go into bad pharmacies and doctors' offices that distributed them out to people who had no legitimate need for those drugs.
This story was like a continuation of the two previous stories we did on the opioid crisis. That one was personal.
We call this the death wall.
The death wall?
Yes.
Why is that?
Majority of the people on this wall have died of drug overdose.
I thought of those people we met and the people who died all the time.
There's 23 in there on the wall from my hometown.
Is it a small town?
Yeah.
It seems that investigators with the DEA were aware that these pills were getting out of the pharmacies and into the streets, and they tried to ring the alarm bells. But not only did no one pay attention to them, it seems that members of Congress took steps to try to limit the DEA's abilities to stop this. And the result was a bill in Congress that actually ended up taking away the most potent tool that the DEA had to go after the distribution of so many drugs.
This bill is going to protect defendants that we have under investigation, that we are investigating. And it restricts or prevents us from filing immediate suspension orders to stop the hemorrhaging of drugs downstream.
It is my understanding that Joe Ranazizi, a senior DEA official, has publicly accused we sponsors of the bill of, quote, supporting criminals, unquote. This offends me immensely.
You know you have a reputation, and even people who support you tell us that you can be a bit of a hothead. True?
Yeah, I do get angry. I get angry when people don't do their jobs. I get angry when people don't do their jobs well.
And this crisis that he saw happening in front of his eyes enraged him.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being passionate. I'm guilty of being angry. But I think anybody else in that situation would have done the exact same thing.
People are dying. He would say that to us over and over and over again. People are dying. So he was trying to figure out what he could do about it. And every time he ran into a roadblock, he got angrier and more forceful. And it depends on who you talk to what his reputation is. If you talk to his investigators, the people who worked in the field for him, they love him. You talk to some people in Washington, at the DEA, his higher-ups at the DEA or at the Justice Department, and certainly in Congress, they think he was too aggressive, to the point of being boorish.
What I needed was support. And it infuriated me that I was over there trying to explain what my motives were or why I was going after these corporations. And when I went back to the office and I sat down with my staff, I basically said, you know, I just got questioned on why we're doing what we're doing. This is war. We're going after these people, and we're not going to stop. He's
not the most diplomatic person you've ever come across.
No, but he makes a good whistleblower.
He makes a great whistleblower, and he's got a reason to be upset.
Because it just hurts when somebody says, well, DEA should be doing more. DEA was doing everything it could. DEA ran into a wall.
Do you think this investigation by 60 Minutes and the Washington Post will make waves?
I sure hope so. This is a terrible crisis. What I would hope would happen from this story is that Americans get angry.
It doesn't look like Joe Ranasisi is going to let this go.
Joe Ranasisi is not going to give this fight up. He's like a dog with a bone. He's going to pursue this until he gets some satisfaction.
You know, before coming to Congress, I was a prosecutor and a United States attorney.
Congressman Marino has been nominated to be the next drug czar. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Total disbelief. Total disbelief. He's just not qualified to do that job. Besides the fact that he pushed through a bill that's curtailing the ability of DEA to do their job, I don't understand how you could look at a congressman who's done all of this and then decide he would be a great drug czar to basically set policy for the United States, drug policy for the United States.
We will soon have a hearing with Congressman Marino. I would think that this would be an issue that will be brought up in his hearings.
The bill was bad. Him being the drug czar is a lot worse.